This is a tender hour when we gather to share our grief, but also to affirm life and love as we comprehend more fully our gratitude to God for the life of Kevin Robison. Each of you have your memories of him that you will cherish, and it's been our privilege to hear from his brother on behalf of the family, and now it's my privilege to speak of what I knew of Kevin in light of this church and the faith that sustained him, in particular the past 8 years. Kevin was a member of Myers Park Presbyterian Church for 16 years. Over the course of this time, he was active in Stephen ministry, and he was a dedicated sanctuary usher. Kevin was an ordinary person. He went to work during the week, and he attended church on Sunday. He easily blended into any crowd, and like many people, didn't draw attention to himself. Then he received a diagnosis of multiple myeloma. I suspect that many of you didn't know Kevin until he became ill. You were, like me, drawn into his story. His Sunday school class rallied around him. He was surrounded with attention and compassion by one of our care teams. And through the shock of a diagnosis of cancer and the determination to fight back, Kevin wouldn't give up. He moved out into the community, utilizing every resource available to him. He found sources of funding for treatment and medication, and he began to share this information with others. He was an active participant in a support group and took advantage of the Buddy Kemp Center and their programs. He became more active in church, and more people heard his story and got to know him. One year, he worked very hard for the Cancer Society, promoting awareness about bone marrow transplant. These things and many other acts of support and kindness toward others became a way for Kevin to pay forward the care he received from all of you. The Apostle Paul writes in his letter to the church in Corinth, "Blessed be the Father and God of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of mercies and the God of all consolation, who consoles us in all our affliction, so that we may be able to console those who are in any affliction with the consolation with which we ourselves are consoled by God." Kevin lived this out in our midst, returning mercy and God's consolation to others. Isn't it remarkable how God can use an ordinary person, not a perfect person, to show God's love? Kevin drew the interest and attention of many people that previously he never would have reached out to. He continued to usher on Sundays, offering a smile and a word of encouragement to those who came in through these doors. He became well known in the community and was a regular at his local Starbucks. Kevin's journey through cancer became his ministry. And despite the fear and anxiety that came with living with cancer, when he was here at church, he offered a smile and a word of encouragement to each one of us. The last time I saw Kevin outside of the hospital was here. He was gravely ill, yet he was ushering and greeted me warmly, and not just me, but others, with a hug. Even though he was becoming more and more ill with each day, he found a way to do something for others, no matter how small. Kevin was a seeker. He, like all of us, was working out his faith in the midst of the ups and downs of life. He was fortunate to have a wonderful family who cared for him and showed patience and love through the stresses and challenges. I know it wasn't easy for you. In the end, Kevin didn't want to die, but he was ready to go home, to that eternal home that has been promised to all of us. Jesus said, "Let not your hearts be troubled. Believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many rooms. If it were not so, would I have told you that I go to prepare a place for you? And when I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and will take you to myself, that where I am, you may be also. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you, not as the world gives, do I give to you. Let not your heart be troubled, nor let it be fearful. Jesus assured his first disciples, and he assures us, that Kevin has left this life and entered into new life. Again, Paul writes in 2 Corinthians, so we are always confident, even though we know that while we are at home in the body, we are away from the Lord. For we walk by faith, not by sight. Yes, we do have confidence, and we would rather be away from the body and at home with the Lord. So whether we are at home or away, we make it our aim to please God. Kevin, in his own way, sought to please God and to cultivate the confidence that is found in faith. God has released him from the captivity of disease and all the struggles of human life. He is no longer away from the Lord. He is free. He is home in the presence of a living God.